Hello. Firstly, let's look at all the fun you can expect to have looking after a classic Honda Transalp. Oh, just chaos. Total chaos. Oh, God.
Are you sitting comfortably? Then we'll begin.
Careful not to breathe in all that toxic rubbish. I've sprayed the handguards back to the original colour with varying degrees of success. I've also removed this tubey thing for something slightly more fruity. Christ on a bike! Oh, thank God. The jury is definitely out on that one. My 600 Transalp has turned out to be better than expected. But how can it possibly compete against 24 years of Honda R&D? I did spend some time with the 750 Resurrection, which went really well. Shit. So I thought I would compare Honda 1999 Transalp versus the revival from 2023. Stick around for this one because we're kind of going back to the future. The 1980s Honda Transalp is fondly remembered in a similar way to your old VHS collection. Throw your leg over a late 90s version and it still feels like a different century. This is unmistakably old school. However, super smooth carburetors, a cable throttle and simple suspension give you a genuine connection to what's going on. This is a very manual motorcycle. There are no DRLs, ABS or TC. The 600 delivers riding feedback in bucket loads. You know what's happening without computers or flashing lights to break the news. But predictably, you kind of work a bit harder on the 600. Life has moved on, and in 24 years, all that R&D has made a difference. The 750 spins out over 90 horsepower. Legal speeds and your license are shredded with ease. The workhorse, on the other hand, gets a bit nervous past motorway limits. But that's both obvious and not really the point. That 583cc V-twin is relaxed. You naturally slow down. Cruising speed of around 65 miles per hour is perfect. It's not the kind of bike you'd want to wring its neck. It never was. That engine has been around since the pyramids. It's full of character and just makes you smile. Everywhere I go, the bike gets more attention than a basket full of kittens. Servicing the 600 is remarkably straightforward for normal people. It's a bit chaotic for me because I can't use a spanner, but most areas are accessible. The air filter is conveniently located behind this side panel. The 750 is a stripped down nightmare from hell. Welcome to the future. If I had a mechanical problem in a remote part of Europe, I know which bike I'd rather be on. I also question changing the can. Catalytic converters, oxygen sensors and remapping the ECU sound too much like hard work. With both Transalps, you sit in the bike and not on it. Now, for me, that is frustrating because I have spider-like legs. Give me an hour, 2 at best, and cramp sets in. Don't get old. Oddly, the 600 kind of feels happier when you're sitting down in the loose stuff. You only get a 5-speed box, but clutchless upshifting is a doddle. Nevertheless, it's a long way off a 6-speed quick shifter. Accept the limitations and the 600 is a joy. But life has changed and somewhere around 100 horsepower is now the new normal. The old girl is a sparrow's fart heavier than the 750. And that's without crash bars made from girders. Anyone remember glass lights and metal tanks? The new kit is pretty much better in every way. Brakes, suspension, technology, LEDs, and it has twice the power. It is light years away from the workhorse. But I do feel like it's lost some character, some soul. A V-twin that drinks like Oliver Reed is in some way quite romantic. Connect your phone, cast to your TV and order your Wish.com surprise. It's all there for the taking on the 750. Except cruise control, of course. But is it masquerading as a Transalp? Is this parallel twin just a sellout on the original name? Well, most manufacturers are guilty of bringing back their legacy marks. And Honda are more liable than most. But I do admit there are some similarities. The wheel sizes, the ground clearance, the riding position, they're all remarkably close. And I do agree there is a sprinkling of Transalp ethos in there. You can pick up an old workhorse from the knacker's yard from around 700 quid. A clean high miler nearer £2,000. A very rare low mileage prime example will go for anything up to 4k, and they're rising in price quickly. A used 750 will set you back around double that. Expect 7,000 to 8,000. Apparently beauty is in the eye of the beholder. For me, after all these years, the 600 is still holding her own against the NC-looking 750. Emission laws have killed Honda's old V-twins. In quarter of a century, I'll be in a box. But if anybody finds this video in 2050, 2051, how is your 25-year-old 750 Transalp holding up? Now that would be interesting. Just like the 600, perhaps it's me that's a bit too old school. But simplicity is refreshingly welcome. Perhaps I'm just not a fan of techie gizmos or beholden to software updates. But there's no getting away from it. The 750 is good. On balance, the 600 can pretty much do anything the 750 can. Bang for the buck, you can't really go wrong. Perhaps with the exception of dodging speed cameras on motorways. But if that's your bag, you won't want a Honda Transalp, you'll need a DeLorean. Even without my rose-tinted glasses, riding unclassified roads, gravel tracks, or just a day exploring a forest drive, the 600's charm and unprocessed nature could win you over. But you're almost out of time. Thanks for watching.